Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulil Kareem. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Takaful online course. And today's session is a continuation of the popular terms used in Takaful industry. And just to recap again, the objective of this sessions related to the terminology is to highlight briefly in a very short descriptions the term used in Takaful with the objective just to be familiar with this term and what these terms means in a very brief discussions, because throughout the course of the Takaful we may cross this term again in a different sessions where we may dive and provide more details and discussion on it, but the purpose is just to provide a kind of high-level descriptions on the most popular terms used in Takaful. And today we are with the term number 37. And 37 is talking about the term tijari. Tijari means commercial. So we have ijtimai, which is social, and we have tijari, which is commercial. And as you can see, and as you know, the original of Takaful, it was a Takaful ijtimai, and it still does exist this kind of a structure, but it is slowly has shifted to what's so-called Takaful tijari, whereby some commercial aspect has been added to it and become more commercially driven and tighten up with additional law, regulations, standards, guidelines, and the involvement also of the regulators to impose additional requirements in the capital and so on and so forth related to the governance, to the accounting, to the reporting, and other aspects. So it's become more a commercial entity. So tijari means commercial. And it's coming from the word tijara, which is business and trade. The item number 38 is total loss. Total loss is term sometimes used, which means a loss of sufficient size, meaning a big size of loss, which normally nothing left. You know, if we say there is a total loss, or for example a building or a car, meaning it cannot be function again, like the building has collapsed or the car has crashed. So total loss meaning nothing left. So it is a very significant damage on that particular asset, whereby nothing left of value. It just totally gone. The item 38 is basically ujra. Ujra also means fee, and the ujra and fee is more related to the services. It's more related to ijara. This is why we have the ujra from the ijara. Ujra is a wage, it is a charge, it is an amount given as a result of providing service. For example, if a trainer provides a training, you give him ujra, meaning it's a fee for his service, and his service is basically the training. So any kind of service, because the industry, there is a manufacturing, right? There is a manufacturing sector, and there is a services sector, like the accountant, like the lawyer, like the Sharia advisors. All these are basically providing services, and they are getting what's so-called ujra, and the employments also, the employees. So they are also engaged with the organizations against ujra or against fee, because they provide their services to the organization. As a result of that, they would get ujra, which is, we call it salary or wages. The other one, item number 40, is uqud al-muawadat. Uqud al-muawadat is a contract of exchange, such as sales, lease, and so on and so forth. And this kind of contract, normally there is a consideration, there is a price to give if you buy, if you sell something, so you have to get a payment. If you provide the service, you have to get a fee for it. So normally there is a consideration, or there is a price, or there is a ujra as a result of providing this a product, of providing this kind of services. And these exchange contracts are very strict, not very flexible, which means they don't tolerate gharar, and you have to comply with some specific requirements in order to ensure the Sharia compliance. If you take, for example, sales, in order to buy to sell, so few requirements should be there, like for example the two contracting party, there are some kind of requirements in it, the offer and acceptance, there are some requirements on it, the subject matter price and good, there are some requirements in it, you have to comply with it, and also especially related to the removal or uncertainty and the gharar and the disclosure and the specifications and many other requirements in order to ensure the validity of the contract. Whereby the item number 41 is عقود التبرعات or voluntary contract or charitable contract, which is basically the opposite of the exchange contract, which is a cluster or classifications that has very flexible features, very dynamic, accommodates gharar, accommodates a kind of jahala or ignorance, many specifications or the most of the specifications of the exchange contract doesn't apply in the in the tabarruk contract. Tabarruk contract is more flexible, like gifts, like donations. For example, if you donate something and you don't know how much, it doesn't matter. If someone give you a gift and you don't know what is inside, it doesn't matter. If you don't know the specification, it doesn't matter. And the reason being that there is no consideration for it. There is no price, there is no fee. So if you like it, the gift you take. If you don't like it, you give it away. As simple as that. So there is no implication on that. That's why there is a kind of flexibility. Now, if you go back to banking, banking is built upon the exchange contract, عقود المعاوضات. When it comes to Takaful, Takaful is built upon عقود التبرعات, which is a charitable contract or which is a donation contract. That's why you see more flexibility in Takaful compared to the banking. And of course, through the course of this Takaful, we go back again to this underlying Sharia contract with a very detailed discussion on it. The item 42 is wakala, which means agency. Wakala, it's the agency, is you empower someone to act on your behalf within a specific term and conditions. Item 43, it is waqf. Waqf is a kind of endowment. Plural is awqaf, is a kind of charitable trust that normally set up for the purpose of some Islamic objectives such as educations, health, mosque, and so on and so forth. So normally it is some kind of welfare, social activities that basically generate benefits and ajr and reward to the donors or to the waqif. And of course, as you know, waqf is not allowed to be sold, is not allowed to be given as a gift. You cannot buy waqf, you cannot sell waqf, you cannot give it away. So it is a perpetual kind of trust which the asl or the assets will remain, and its what so-called benefits will be basically benefiting the society or the community or the neighborhood. It depends what are the conditions, the term that has been highlighted and imposed in the waqfiyah by the donor. And the last one is zakat, which is 44. Zakat is a kind of obligations, contributions by the Muslims. And there is what so-called two types of zakat. Of course, zakat al-fitr, which is payable basically by every Muslims in at the end of Ramadan in Eid al-Fitr. And we have the zakat al-mal, which is a kind of annual levy, is a kind of annual amount given on your wealth, which is 2.5% from your wealth, whether your wealth is in a form of cash or in a form of in investments or saving or gold or animals or whatever it is. There is of course a method of calculating your asset and kind of calculations, the amount to be given as a zakat, which is once a year on your wealth. So this is basically the end of the terminology, and we have highlighted so far 44 terms that is normally used on and off in the Takaful. It depends what sections we are talking about, what angle we are highlighting, but these are very important, they are very useful. Of course, some of them are specifically related to Takaful, others are very generic, applicable to Takaful, applicable to Islamic banking, applicable to Islamic capital market, applicable to wealth management and financial planning, meaning applicable to the Islamic finance industry as a whole. But some of them are related precisely and more popular, more famous in the Takaful industry. With this, thank you very much and hope to see you inshallah in the coming sessions. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.